Welcome to today's workshop, How to Get Your Acceptance Letter Using My 3-Step College Application Framework. Welcome everyone to today's workshop. I'm so glad that you are here. It's 4 p.m. Pacific time in Los Angeles. It's very, very hot. Wherever you're at, I hope that you're keeping yourself cool. But we'll go ahead and jump right in. Before we get started, let's do a quick check-in to make sure that you're here for the right workshop. You're here tonight to learn all about the best and proven strategies for writing awesome college essays, and obviously common mistakes and pitfalls to avoid. And obviously you want your essays and applications to stand out because let's face it, this is such hard and stiff competition, right? So tonight I'm going to show you how to beat GPA and SAT score statistics by using my essay strategies. You're also in the right place if you want to know what is it that colleges are looking for specifically. And it's so normal for you to be confused about this topic because your child probably participated in so many activities and clubs that you want to know what should be included and what should be taken out. Lastly, but most importantly, you want to know how to get that acceptance letter so that all the hard work, such as late night studying for AP and SAT exams, volunteering, summer programs, contests, competitions will all pay off because you definitely don't want all the hard work to go to waste. So if you're here for one of these reasons or all of these reasons, welcome. On the other side, this is not for someone who already thinks they know everything about the college application process, not for someone who's going to be disrespectful of this workshop, and not for someone who's going to take all the free information and become super upset when I share additional ways for me to help you out at the end of the training. Because honestly, yes, in this workshop, you're going to get a ton of value. So if you want more of my support, I'm going to share that with you at the very end. All right, so I've been doing this work for nearly 10 years now, which means I've read thousands of essays and submitted hundreds of college applications. And trust me, I see a lot of mistakes with college essays. And the worst part is students who actually write these essays have no idea they're making mistakes because they were never taught how to write college essays. So here's mistake number one, common mistake, really, really common. You might think that, all right, my son has done so much. He played varsity water polo, spent 3 years in business club, attended entrepreneurship summer programs. I think that the only way to succeed is to demonstrate extracurriculars and awesome GPA. A lot of students and parents think this way. But the truth is, it's not about how much extracurricular you try to demonstrate, but how these extracurriculars demonstrate your value and how your child's values will contribute to their campus. Think about it. Colleges want a promising candidate and a student. Another common mistake that I see is this. Students try too hard to impress their positive qualities. And that's so understandable because students think, all right, I need to show my passion, my expertise, my academic interests, and all the great things about myself. But the truth is this, what students don't know is how much of that they should include. So finding the perfect balance is the key here. The third type of common mistake that I see all the time is focusing on how can I make my essay unique and creative so that college admission boards won't think that I'm a boring student. And yes, to a certain degree, making your essay creative is one of the steps that I teach my students how to do, but that's the last step that you should take. Instead, essay brainstorming session must be focused on content and connecting that value that you want to demonstrate. Then you could work on creativity for as long as you want. Because let's face it, this is not a creative writing contest, okay? So if you're a mom watching this workshop, you might think, okay, what's going on here? When I was applying to colleges, all I had to do was write an essay about my academic interest as if I'm writing a paper for my English class. And yes, I understand, but seriously, times have changed. College essays have become such a critical component of the application process. And the biggest reason for that is this, right? It's this bar graph right here. As you can tell from this chart, getting accepted into colleges is becoming more and more competitive. The acceptance rate drops every admission cycle simply because more students are applying. And that's why you probably feel so much pressure and anxiety. A few months ago, USC released that they were only able to accept 13% of its applicants this year simply because so many top applicants applied. And take a look at the acceptance rate for for the year of 2014, it was nearly 18% compared to 13 now. This is a Business Insider article that was published last year about how getting perfect scores on SAT, having top 5% GPA in high school are just not good enough. So if taking the most challenging courses, right, and getting that 5% top GPA didn't even get him accepted, what are they looking for? What they're looking for is this: your child's values. Okay? So to combat the competition, lots of parents and students are looking in for professional guidance. Just last year in the United States, $400 million was spent on private college consultants. But unfortunately, students are still getting rejected from Ivy Leagues and top-tier colleges, even with the help of college admission consultants and professionals, even with the best GPA and SAT scores. So where is the disconnect? Who's getting accepted? And for those accepted students, what are they doing differently? So today, my goal for this workshop is really simple. It's to guide you and your child through a proven system to get your child accepted into their dream colleges. So let me stop here for a second. Mira, did you have a question? I saw that you raised your hand. If you have a question, you could use the Q&A box to ask me. And your question will be private so that I could only see it. Okay? So if any of you guys are, having any questions during the slides, shoot the questions at me using the Q&A so that I can answer them for you, so that you gain full clarity and understanding of these slides. Okay? All right. So I'll be looking out for your question, Mira. All right. So that's my goal. So how do I know that this is a proven system that works? Since 2009, I've consulted over 500 students, and 90% of my students got accepted into Ivy Leagues. And as for top-tier colleges, 100% success rate. And here's what is important. There's no guesswork here because I myself got accepted into my dream colleges, UCLA, USC, and graduate school, Harvard University, even without the best GPA, SAT scores, GRE scores, anything quantitative, in fact. So don't worry, you're in good hands tonight. I didn't just pull these slides together without any expertise and experience, It's been proven with my almost 600 students, and I will share all the case studies with you. Well, not all, but I'll share a couple of them with you. So who am I? So let me give you a quick intro about who I am, who's doing this presentation for you. My name is Julie Kim, and I guide and mentor middle and high school students to get accepted into Ivy Leagues and top-tier colleges. One of the biggest reasons why my students get awesome results is because I've been through the exact process before. I've dealt with peer pressure, expectations from mom, dad, stress, time management issues, college essay and app stress, you name it. In high school, I didn't have the best GPA, best SAT scores. And honestly, I didn't even attend any summer programs. And people get so shocked by this fact. And the only prominent extracurricular that I participated in was student body government. Through trial and error, I figured out a proven system to write my college essay that showed me that I, as a student, have so much more to offer beyond these numbers. And this is where I got accepted and more. And I used the exact essay and application strategies with my graduate school applications too. Likewise, my GPA, GRE scores were not exceptional to get into Harvard. I didn't have any internships or research experience. But again, I demonstrated in my essay that I have more to offer than numbers and quantity on my resume. As a result, I got accepted into Harvard University and Columbia University, and ended up going to Harvard. All right, enough of me. Now I'm ready to share the 3 action steps with you. And here's my first step. Brainstorm your college essay using my BEAR method. So what is a BEAR method? B here stands for backstory. If you think about it, every movie character has a backstory. Just think for a second. Pick a movie that you like, find a character that you love, and identify their backstory. They have it. Without understanding the student's past experiences and their backstory, it's hard to tell why or how a student is making certain decision in his or her life from the college admissions perspective. So here's an example of my essay that I wrote that got me accepted into my dream colleges. Let's start off with backstory. I was a fledgling bird that couldn't fly. I wanted to, so I could experience a whole new world, but something pulled me back. But I just couldn't. I was scared that I would fall. Coming to America in 4th grade, I struggled to assimilate to the new culture and a new language. I stayed in the ELD program until 8th grade. My lack of confidence partly came from a language barrier, but it also came from my shy personality. One day, I followed my dad to an auto center, and I saw a bird in a cage. For some reason, I kept staring at it and thinking, how sad that the bird can't fly. I saw that the bird was a reflection of me. And by the way, this is the actual essay that I submitted, and this is my real story. All right, Bear E, effects. E stands for effects. What were some of the effects that derived from your backstory? So here's my effect. I wanted to change. I was scared and hesitant, but amazingly, I found that there was a little courage behind my fear. Entering 9th grade, I ran for class secretary. Posting up big posters with my name on them was intimidating, and my heart broke when I saw my posters being ripped or thrown away. Giving a speech in front of my school was terrifying, and my hands shook as I braced myself for humiliation on stage. I lost that first election. Now is your time to share your aha moment, right? Such as, wow, what am I doing with my life? I need to make some changes. Or maybe there's aha moment came through a matter of 2 months, 5 months, or even a year, right? It's case by case. And based on your aha moment, what action steps did you take, right? This is a great place for you to add your EC. So this is my aha moment, you guys. After the election, however, I realized that it wasn't so bad. My worst fear, losing, had come true, but it wasn't so bad. I didn't die. In fact, I was proud that I tried and faced my fears directly. From then on, I began to take chances. Even though I was still someone who was afraid to participate, I was eager to grow and improve through my academic classes in school, leadership opportunities, and outside learning. And this is my action step. I decided to challenge myself in school instead of being happy with my regular classes. I enrolled in AP and honor courses. Although these AP and honor courses were difficult, I'm proud of the progression that I made from ELD English, regular English, honors English, to AP English. In addition, I decided to run for ASB once again during my sophomore year, choosing not to be discouraged after losing my first election. My determination and hard work had paid off. I was elected as Commissioner of Renaissance for the next 2 years, and I am now the student of director of ASB. This led me to pursue other leadership positions, such as president of Korean Club, where I shared and promoted Korean culture to students through food, language, and interaction. Lastly, to further challenge myself, I took classes at a local college. There, I surprisingly discovered an interest in my anthropology class, and it made me want to further study it in my major in depth in college. Result, here's the result. I now comfortably speak to almost 2,000 students during assemblies. I am a leader in my school. I am no longer involved in ELD programs, but a fluent English speaker. Recently, around 3 in the morning, I was studying for my APUSH test when I looked through my window and saw a little nest on a tree. Although I had always heard a bird's chirping sound, I now saw that the bird was gone. It had finally flown away. At some point in my life, I had to take that leap of faith to overcome my fears and doubts. I did it. Now I'm flying, and I will continue to fly higher at the college level. Who knows how high I will go? Keep in mind, you guys, that this brainstorming method, the BEAR method, is not just a narrative essay. Under each category, colleges are actively looking for your child's values, and this is a key difference of a student who gets accepted and who doesn't. Getting your child's acceptance letter is not a dream if all you focus on is, okay, let's put in all the activities, right? You need to focus on what is the value that I hold and how can I demonstrate that? You guys, this approach is the game changer. And if this is the only thing that you could take away from today's workshop, this should be it. Okay? Take a look at my former student, Samantha Lee, who got accepted into UC Berkeley as an applied mathematics major. When Samantha came into my program for help, one of her concerns was, Julie, I have so much to share in my college essays. I don't know what to include and how much of it to include in my personal statement. How much of it is always the issue. We used the BEAR method brainstorming session so that the perfect amount of each activity was mentioned while demonstrating her values in education and in life. And she got accepted into UC Berkeley, applied math. All right, let's move into step number 2. Do not use the word passion. Instead, you want to demonstrate your passion without trying too hard or being too explicit. Let's take a look at an example. I'm passionate about computer science and creating apps using Python. What do you guys think? Is this a good one? Not so much? Absolutely not. Let's take a look at another example. One of my passions is medicine is because I have 3 years of hospital volunteer experience and I'm a compassionate person. What do you think, you guys? Yes or no? No. No. Last example. I'm a passionate student because I work hard and give my best in everything that I participate in. What are your thoughts? No. You would not believe how many of these sentences I read in the beginning because students don't know, right? They've never been taught how to write college essays. So how are they supposed to? Instead, you need to show how you spend your time. If you are really passionate about something or heavily invested in an activity because you absolutely love it, it will show. How? Because you probably spent a lot of time on it. You need to integrate that into your essay instead of just saying, oh, I'm a passionate student. With college essays, students are so focused on describing every little detail about their journey, whether it was attending summer programs, taking a lot of AP classes, what else? Dealing with anxiety, identity issue, bullying, peer pressure, whatever the issue is. However, rather than focusing so much on the journey itself, make it loud and clear as to what was the impact you were able to make. For example, if you're tutoring little kids at a library, yes, it's important to focus on, how you taught them, what curriculum you use, but what changes and transformations were you able to bring to these students? What kind of impact did you make, right? Here's my last tip for step 2. Connect the dots. Don't mention activities here and there in the essay, hoping that they'll understand what you're trying to say, okay? For example, let me just give you an example. All right, so I decided to learn more about engineering after attending EPIC program at Cal Poly SLO. And there I became really interested in mechanical engineering. To learn more about mechanical engineering, I enrolled in Carnegie Mellon certificate classes to study the relationship between AI and engineering. This past year, I reached out to a professor at Tufts University, and now I am assisting her with research and data collection for AI machine learning. Do you guys see that it makes so much sense when you connect the dots, right? Because you probably don't need to connect the dots because it's your story. But college admission folks don't know that, right? And the reason why I keep talking about value so much is that's what they're looking for. This is a UPenn common data set, and they're categorizing what's very important, what's considered, what's not considered. And what they're looking for as very important is your character and personal qualities. If you don't have personal and character qualities in your essay, then your extracurricular activity is not going to hold that much strength. And I've seen this so many times. All right, so I've done a lot of talking, and at this point you might think, Julie, this sounds really great, but I don't think it's going to work for my child, right? Because you're like asking this question. What if my child didn't make an impact? Excuse me, let me get a sip of water. Okay, so what if my child didn't make an impact? Most students and parents think this. They think, in order to make an impact and share that impact, it has to be something big and grand. And let me tell you, that's far from the truth. An impact could be picking up trash, tutoring kids nearby your library, tutoring your little brother because your mom is working, getting your team together so that you guys work on, mindset work, like whatever it is. It all starts with your mindset. If you think that you didn't make an impact, then you're not going to mention that in your essay, but you got to dig deep. People think that making an impact has to be big. No, it's not. You're high school students. Be real and be authentic, right? You might also think, okay, Julie, you're saying my child has to demonstrate passion, but my daughter is not that passionate. Okay, so colleges know that not every student will be passionate because fostering passion is not something that happens overnight. Colleges want to see, given your circumstances and given your resources, what were you able to do? Because if a student really wants to do something because they're so passionate and they love the topic, there should never be an excuse for it, right? So think about that. What was it that you were able to do within your capacity? Because that's passion. Okay, you have to shift your mindset. Okay, I want to share Kevin's essay outline. He got accepted into UPenn, and his essay outline looks something like this. He took a Python certificate class, created a game design club, took 3 to 3 college level classes, reached out to professors, and participated in research and development. Right? Common application essay outline. This will go under action. So from the BEAR method, it'll go into the A criteria. And we'll get what Kevin said. Julie, help me connect all of my activities into a powerful story while conveying my values. That's exactly what we want, right? Because you know that chart that I showed you earlier? This is actually from UPenn. Right? So why do you think we focus so much on the value and the character and personal qualities? Because that's what they want. That's what they want to see, right? All right, and then here's a couple of questions that I get. Will essays in college applications make a huge difference? Yes, yes, yes. Let's take a look. Application essay, recommendation. Very, very, very important. So yes, it is going to make a big difference. And if you're a senior parent joining us, I mean, this is for seniors only, but you've already done all the work now. So you got to package it in a way because you don't want any of your child's character and values to be left out, right? So another thing that I hear is my son doesn't have the best resume. I hear so many parents saying this. My child doesn't have the best resume, the best GPA, best this and that. That's why you need to use your essay as your secret weapon. Show that there's so much more than stats and numbers and quantity. My daughter is a straight A student with countless activities and awards. Isn't that enough? No, that's not enough. Stats are not going to be determining factors, you guys. It is going to be a criteria, but what they really want to see is the value that you have. And that's why I was able to get accepted into colleges that were way beyond my GPA and SAT scores. And here's Victoria's essay outline. Yeah, this is one of my favorites because she also did education. But, so this is her outline. Volunteer as a reading tutor, took certified classes in child development and literacy skills. For her, she also took college classes too, actually. And then created a club that connects tutors to students with little access to one-on-one math instruction. This will go under BEAR A section, okay? Great, so last action step for today. Package your story so that you stand out. This is competition. Biggest mistake number one when it comes to packaging everything together. Students are way too focused on telling their story. They think this is a narrative or some sort of a biography. But if you're telling your story because it's so important to you, and obviously it is your life, so it's important to you, but colleges, they read thousands of this essay. So how is you just telling your story going to make you stand out? Biggest mistake. I've actually read a essay before that actually exemplified and looked exactly like some sort of a biography. Biggest mistake number two, stating the obvious. Statements like, I tried really hard and then I made it. I was full of insecurities, but I'm confident now. Stop using general statements, right? Just use your story to convey your values in life. Another one, I used to be shy, but I'm not anymore. Too dramatic. I used to be bad, but I'm so good now. Right? Stop stating the obvious. They know that, overcoming insecurity is hard, blah, 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 but show it to us, right? Let me give you an example so you have a better idea. Here's such a not great example. To explore my interest in math, I participated in AMC competition, got elected as secretary of math club, and took rigorous classes. So much better version. My hands were shaking as I held my wrinkled paper up on that stage. I was shaking so much that my microphone was swinging back and forth. I was messing up on that stage with hundreds of eyes staring at me. At the end, I lost the election, but this was what I realized. I didn't die after all. And I faced my fears of rejection. Next year, I ran for the exact same position and heard my name for the first time as a winner, right? And here, you could tell this person's value. This student has resiliency, doesn't give up, goes for it despite fear, right? So, do you think Cornell admission committees will be impressed by 7 AP classes, perfect SAT scores, leadership, summer camp, coding, blah, 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 100 hours of volunteering, if these activities are not authentic and only to list accomplishments? Because that's not going to give you that competitive edge, I promise you. Okay? What's the point of participating in so many activities if you don't know how to package your values and your character into an essay, right? Instead, they will accept students demonstrating these values such as integrity, creativity, vulnerability, growth, empathy, and so much more. Colleges want to know your values, you guys, not just the list of your activities, okay? So here's a recap, summarizing it for you here. 3-step college application framework. Brainstorm using the BEAR method, B-E-A-R. Do not use the word passion. Lastly, package your story so that you stand out, okay? Obviously, the time that we have together today is only 30 minutes. And in that short amount of time, I can't deliver everything to you. And this is literally like 1% or 2% of what I typically share with my students and parents. So here's the truth. Based on today's workshop, you can try to figure out everything on your own, but you might succeed or you might not. It's like gambling with your child's future because your child only has one shot at this. That's why I'm offering a free 45-minute session to talk about rec letter, college list, essays, application, supplemental essays. And during the 45 minutes, we're going to go over any questions you might have. And then if we're a good fit to work together, I'll let you know during our call. Okay. I want to make sure that it's a good use of our time though. And I want you to know that this is not for everyone. Okay. This is for students who want to write college essays that will make them stand out so that they are not categorized as one of the typical essays. This is for students who want to write college essays that truly demonstrate their values in life, because remember, that's what colleges are looking for. This is for students who want to connect the dots and create a beautiful story for the college admission committees to read. And most importantly, this is for students who truly want to show who they really are, because this is exactly what me and my students work on to get accepted into their dream colleges, okay? Before we go, I want to share 2 case studies with you that truly shows why college essays and rec letters are so important. I started working with Andy and his resume was not that impressive. He took only 1 college course and he interned at a furbishing manufacturing warehouse or something like that in China for 2 months. He had a couple of B's, and most importantly, he wasn't that passionate about such and such. And I knew for certain that if we just listed out his activities and try to connect the dots, it would not work. Using the BEAR brainstorming system, we analyzed Andy's backstories, effects, aha moments, action steps, and through those brainstorming sessions, we came up with the value that was so apparent in all of his stories and statements. Right? We had to identify that, otherwise it's not going to work. It was amazing. Andy got accepted into UIUC, which was definitely a dream school for him on our college list. And you know, his mom thanked me so much because this essay changed his life and his opportunities. Right? We beat the statistics. Second, Veronica was struggling with confidence as she kept saying, Julie, I don't think I'll get accepted into Occidental. So definitely mindset work was necessary during our time together. Veronica was a very outgoing, sociable student, loved to sing, had participated in multiple competitions. Veronica didn't have the high GPA, but her social and communication skills were impressive. So utilizing her strengths, we created a plan for her college essay using exactly the BEAR method that I just shared with you and demonstrated her values and unique character. She got accepted into Occidental ED, and her mom came rushing and yelling into my office, like literally. All right. And we gladly, happily beat the statistics. Now you have an option to decide if this is what you've been looking for, because honestly, time is running out for college essays and application. And the worst feeling in the world is being indecisive, because using that time, you can actually create action steps and strategies that will get your child closer to their dream colleges, right? So if you found today's workshop helpful and definitely shifted your mindset, and you feel like you want more personalized attention and support, you can go ahead and schedule a 45-minute strategy session at juliekimconsulting.com/strategy session. And during the 45 minutes, we're going to go over any questions you might have. And then, like I said, if we are a good fit to work together, I'll let you know during our call. All right, I'm going to wrap up the workshop today. I'll stay around for a few minutes to answer your questions. And thank you all for attending. I hope you got a lot out of it. And I hope that we can talk very soon. Okay, bye everyone. But I will be on here for about a few minutes.